What is there that I needed to learn? What red flags did I see or miss? And what healing do I need to walk through now to really ensure that I come out on the other side of this better, not bitter? Welcome to the Pastor's Lounge. I'm Sherry, your unapologetically Christian therapist. Here we talk about all things mental health and wellness from a biblical perspective. In the last couple of weeks, at least 3 or 4 different clients that have reached out to me specifically to talk about, okay, this is what's going on in my marriage. It's really, really bad. And I'm a Christian. I need to talk to a Christian about what do I do? Like, am I allowed to get divorced? Can I get one? Should I get one? Is it bad? Do I just pursue? And let me just start by saying I am not going to sit here and give everyone advice on all of their things. And that's not even how it works in therapy. Like, you come to your own conclusions and I just listen. So just so we're clear on that. I'm not going to sit here and give anybody a license like Sherry says, go ahead and do it. That's not what this is going to be. But I do want to do a little bit of some myth busting and just bring some clarity where I can. And then you just apply this wherever you want. But this is also a conversation for people who have gotten divorced already. And the question is God mad at me? Did I just, get myself kicked out of his love now because the Bible talks about divorce and how bad it is? And, is there room for me to start over? Is that going to look bad? All that stuff. So I'm going to try to hit on a little bit of a combo of these things in this time. And of course, do my best to always conclude with some encouragement because that's what we do. Now, yes, it is in the Bible that the Lord hates divorce. He does not like it, but let's clarify. The Lord hates divorce. He does not have any less love for divorced people. So let's make that distinction right away. He loves his children. He loves his humanity and these wonderful humans that he has made. But what he does not love is disunity and division, and that's what divorce is, right? And for the folks that are like, well, if it's a sin, then I've committed a sin and now I'm ruined and the Lord's gonna kick me out forever. No. All sins, right? All of us have sinned and fall short of God's grace and God's glory. And what do when we sin? We ask God for forgiveness. And we take stock of the situation and we learn and we grow and we get deeper in his word and we do our best to continue to develop even better habits on the other side. So this is gonna hit on some religious toes because I know in different faiths and different people's backgrounds, divorce is a hard no matter what happens, and there's no remarriage and all that. And I'm not speaking all that because I don't know all religions. I'm just speaking as a Christian and the background that I know. So you gotta take this how you want. But first and foremost, you are not unloved. I had to address that right away. You're not unloved by God. You not get kicked out. You are not ruined. You don't have to stop coming to church and sit in the back row or something like that. No. That's not how this works. You don't bear some scarlet letter, a big D on your chest now, divorce, and you have to, no, none of that. You are still absolutely loved by God. And your reasons for divorce, only you know that. If there was abuse, if there was neglect, if there was hurt, something really horrible going on, and this was for your safety, you do exactly what you need to do for your well-being. What matters is that you did all that you could. You sought help. You got support. You did whatever you possibly could. And if there really was irreconcilable things and infidelity and no intention towards change, and it was truly unsafe and untenable, then you do what it is that you have to do. Here's what I believe is what needs to be given more attention is, did you take the time to learn? Did you have an after action review? It's called it, in the business world. Did you take the time to look at the situation and get counsel? I'm going to say it every time. Did you get counsel to really think about, how did I get there? What happened, right? Ideally, there's counseling before you get married, and that's going to come up in a video soon. I'm really excited to talk about that. Premarital counseling, look out for that. But ideally, there's counseling prior to reveal as much as is possible beforehand and work on it. And then once and if there are challenges during, there's couples counseling during to try and recalibrate and address the tools that perhaps aren't being used. And then listen, if you've done all you can and parting ways is the healthiest and wisest thing that you can do, and that is just where you've come to, all right. But then did you get counsel, right? To do the deep healing work to assess what went on there. What is there that I needed to learn? What red flags did I see or miss? And what healing do I need to walk through now to really ensure that I come out on the other side of this better, not bitter, and don't end up in the same thing all over again, which happens when you don't do the work after. You can very easily end up in the same exact situation again because you just closed the door, but you did not get the healing yourself, which is what makes all the difference. All the difference. So, one, does God not love me anymore? No, we've addressed that. You are still very much loved and accepted by Jesus. And you ask him to forgive you. You ask him to forgive you for perhaps, maybe even getting married. You knew it's not the right person, but you're too deep in. You already spent all this money and you just went for it anyway. And boom, it ends up, falling apart exactly as you perhaps predicted. Well, yes, take ownership. Take ownership of your part to play in it not ending well. And then you do everything you can to grow and you learn from it. That is extremely important. And then I have questions about, well, am I allowed to remarry? Can I remarry? Should I remarry? What does that look like? Is that an issue? Well, go back to some of the previous points. Have you taken the time to understand, quite frankly, what's going on with you? What insecurities? What self-esteem issues? What unresolved childhood issues and traumas and false narratives that you perhaps brought into the marriage that were inaccurate? What insufficient or incomplete templates were you bringing into the scenario and unrealistic expectations that perhaps you now have to sit with and do the deep digging and really figure out what could I have done differently? What needs to change about me so that I don't attract that type of person again or compromise and tolerate a situation that I never should have gotten into in the first place. We have to look in the mirror, folks. Especially, and I'm not being judgmental, just being honest. If we're on marriage number 2, 3, 4, I'm going to stop right there. Because it shouldn't be that many more. But if we're there, we got to start looking here. And I'm going to go as far as to say, as much as we're speaking specifically about divorces, but while we're at it, relationships in general, whether or not it makes it to marriage, but if you are on partner, boyfriend, girlfriend number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it just keeps not working, it's not them. It's you. And I highly recommend you take the time to assess, why does this keep happening? What's going on? What am I doing that I can't quite seem to really stick with somebody? What's happening? And perhaps you need a really lengthy, healthy, single season. And for those of you who have just been divorced and you've got little kids, please pump the brakes. My free advice: do not remarry for a while. Be still with the Lord. Marry Jesus and take care of your kids. And if you have any questions about that, reflect back. We did a video about single parenting. We got plenty of encouragement in there for you. So you are not going it alone. You're going it with God, and that's the best partner there is, quite frankly. So don't rush to make any changes, but do rush to get into a space for healing. Absolutely. Because there are so many gems that are back there. There are so many missed cues and conversations and opportunities and observations that are just realizations that are so necessary that could change the trajectory of the rest of your life if you take the time to reflect and do the work of truly healing and figuring out who you are again. Really learning what you like and what you don't, what you'll tolerate and what you can't ever. Again, recognizing that you've evolved and you've changed. I'm going to pivot here real quick. It's just coming to me right now. There could be somebody watching this who you're not divorced. but you're thinking about it. And I'm gonna put this out there. First of all, really consider why. Why are you considering divorce? Why is that coming up? Is it truly irreconcilable stuff? Like there is zero redemption. It is just that awful. Is it that, or is it that you're looking at the work it would take? You're like, yeah, I don't know. I'd rather just get somebody else. Marriage is hard. Marriage is hard. And I would venture to say for every 10 divorces, at least half, maybe not, maybe at least a third, probably they could have just stuck it out if they did some more work. If they chose to say the things that they were avoiding, have a really heartfelt, honest conversation, made some adjustments, took the time to go to a really healthy marriage conference or marriage enrichment. And there are so many of them, so many Christian organizations that are offering these supports and opportunity to take a whole weekend and just have a workshop to just be healed and renewed and get some new information that perhaps you missed. Maybe you didn't do any premarital counseling. You guys got married at 17 and 18 and now you're 40 and 50 and it's like, I don't even know who you are anymore and I'm just over you, right? And there's nothing major that's happened, but you're just kind of grown apart. Don't give up so quick. Don't give up yet. Let's, outside of the main factors, which I'll truly abuse, you're unsafe, boom, say no more, especially if there are minors involved, and any type of, major neglect or you're unsafe, period, we're done. Like, I say no more. But outside of that, and unfaithfulness, because the Bible does talk about that clearly, right? Because then the unity of the body has shifted. But even then, I know some couples that have walked through that and they stay together because they're able to they took the time to dig. They both chose to take the time and do the work and really unpack what happened here. How did that become part of our story? Where did we miss cues with each other? All the way to that. And they were able to do the deep digging, find the source of the leak, plug it up together, grow and move forward. As a matter of fact, we did our premarital counseling, our pre-engagement counseling, to be clear. We weren't even engaged, with a couple that told us openly that they were on the verge of divorce and the Lord intervened in their lives and just gave them a fresh new start. So I've heard those miracle stories too, so I know they exist. So all I'm putting out there is not to indefinitely tolerate an untenable situation, definitely not, but make sure it's truly to that point, right? Take the time, unpack, get support, get counsel for yourself. Sometimes the hang up is, well, she's not going to therapy and she's not going to come to couples counseling, or he's not going to come, or he'll never go. You go. Do you know how many halves of couples I have? How many clients are coming because they're upset with something going on in their marriage and they know their spouses wouldn't come, so they're coming to do their own work. And in just coming by themselves, so much healing is happening, so much is being realized, and they're able to re-engage with their marriage with a different perspective, which again, I don't have, the ability to see the future to know whether or not they make it. But I do know that at least one person is a lot healthier and is a lot more confident, has a lot more, has improved self-esteem and a better outlook and a better approach and better communication skills. That's still progress. That's still something, right? So take the time to do your own individual work as well before you make those big decisions that you can't take. I mean, you can't take back. Some people remarry. That's cool. But there's so much work that can be done beforehand. Exhaust the options. And if you truly are left ultimately with this is what has to be done, then may the grace of God be with you and do what you have to do, but then take the time to heal afterwards. And if the Lord chooses to bless you with somebody else, so the first scenario was truly awful and did not represent God's best for you at all, and it was the best thing you could have done to separate yourself from that person. And now, having done the work to grow and heal and mature and sit with yourself for a while, you now feel that you're ready to move forward and the Lord sends you the right person. Get counseling this time. I can't reiterate it enough. Don't make the mistakes of before of just jumping in like, oh yeah, we talked for like, 2 months, but no. I tell all of the couples, even the individuals I work with that are sharing with me about their partners, give anything all 4 seasons. All 4 seasons. Hold these thoughts, because when we do our next one on premarital counseling 101, you guys are getting a bunch of these nuggets, so bring your notebooks. But at least give it all 4 seasons with a person. Don't think, well, I've been married before, so I know what to do and what not to. Don't assume. Don't do it. Take the time. Get the healing. Ask the inner questions. Talk with your kids. Grow. Make sure they have support and healing from this divorce. Make sure they have been given sufficient information and guidance and a safe space to work out their emotions as well. Don't rush into changing anything. Focus on bringing healing and clarity to the situation that you have at hand first. That is of utmost importance. And above all, you pray and ask the Lord. Any decision you're about to make that's major, to marry, to divorce, to remarry, whatever it is, you don't do anything without asking God. But don't ask him expecting the answer you want, right? Ask him sincerely so that if he truly answered back, no, sir, I'm not in that, or no, ma'am, my blessing is not there. And you've sought wise counsel, and the trusted people in your life are like, I'm not, I get a bad feeling. Or what about this, and this? You're like, oh, that's not a big deal. Don't ignore those red flags. Don't do it. Take your time. Get counsel. Sit with the Lord. Don't rush in or out of the situation, because this advice applies in either direction of the relationship, whether it needs to end or it needs to start. It must absolutely include the wisdom of God. But as far as the question, is there healing on the other side? Is there hope? Is there a new beginning for you? Absolutely. But don't assume that it means another partner, because that's not the only way that God can bring fulfillment and blessing to your life. Ask me. I grew up with just my mom and me, single parent. It was just her and I know that I don't believe that's God's ideal design, but he can certainly use it, and it can be enough. You and God are the majority. Remember that. So be at peace, regardless of where you fall in these scenarios that I'm bringing up today. Get in the Word, get in godly counsel, proceed with wisdom. Thank you guys so much for watching. I pray that this was a blessing to you, and if so, please like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, I pray that you prosper and you are in great health, even and especially as your soul prospers.